character matters, and like you're doing something that it would ultimately be something you wouldn't normally do.
Would you normally key somebody's car?
This podcast is a Dear Media production.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Eat.
Welcome back.
Luckiest day of the year, 11/11.
11/11.
Are you like corny like me? Do you stop at like 11/11 every time you catch it on the clock?
And do what?
I make a wish.
Make a wish. No, I did when I was younger, but it's a lot every day.
I don't, if I catch it.
If you catch it.
I don't actively seek it out, but
Yeah.
if I catch it, I'm like, that's so lucky.
Well, I love angel numbers. I feel like I've gotten more into them with my fiance. He's like very into them. He has a tattoo of one, and I feel like I've turned you on to them.
I'd never heard of that before.
So 3 or 4 consecutive numbers in a row. And I'm really into that. You know, I've over the years been on a home buying journey as well. And I'm always really big on the address. And I've been like, that's a lucky address. And I'll always even look at what year the house was built and things like that.
I also think when people give me their phone numbers, I think like, do I like this phone number?
Oh, you take it a step further.
There's certain phone numbers I really like.
So the very first night he and I got together in the hotel room in Boston, like I went back to find my receipt from the hotel to see like the room number.
What was it?
Well, it actually was 1112.
And that's an angel number?
I mean, the 111 of it all.
Uh-huh.
So we've just kind of taken 111 and ran with it. And that's why I want to get married on 111. Now you guys know.
Wait, that's crazy.
On 11/1.
That's real. You should please, will you talk about it at your wedding? The first time we fucked was in 111.
But we're
Can I talk about it?
Yes. Like I just kind of pretend the 2 doesn't exist because it still has an angel number in it technically. Also, it has room 112 where the players dwell in it. But also, I'm going to email them and ask if we can stay in it again in December.
I love that idea.
We're staying at the same hotel.
We do it now.
Okay.
Tessa, email them.
I'll ask. Raina, I just have to tell you, I just got 2 moles removed.
Okay, Ashley, you do this thing and I don't really understand it. You've done it for our entire friendship, like of a decade. And you're always like casually mentioning that you're going to the doctor and you gatekeep why. It's always. You always make me ask the follow-up question. You texted me and Tess like, I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow and like didn't offer the information. Like it's just the dentist or it's the gynecologist or like it's somewhere on your butt again. It's something your butt again. So like I have you gatekeep the information.
I swear I told you a while back and I was like, I'm going to the dermatologist on election day. What's going to happen? But they just remove them on the spot.
Did they freeze them off?
No, like she took them off,
How
put
do
them
you
in a
know?
jar.
Okay. You take them home?
She has to check them for cancer. She
So
has to
checking
biopsy
them and removing them is the same procedure.
I went in. I
Like a
had a mole
coloscopy.
that was concerning, which even a friend who was a dermatologist, I was on a girls trip with her. She's like, get that checked out. It has like irregular borders or whatever. I was like, I do think it's growing. So
Regular borders.
that's how you know. Brandon, you're not checking your moles. Now I know. You're outing yourself.
No, I don't. I have freckles.
I have a lot of moles.
I have freckles all over.
I have so much skin.
Well, what is
shit.
the difference between a freckle and a mole? I don't fucking know.
Well, Google it. So it had irregular borders and it looked, no, I'm just saying not to be an asshole, but Google what looks normal
Google
and what
the
doesn't.
borders,
'Cause
actually.
the 2 that I thought were problematic are the 2 she took off. She did my whole body. It was butt naked. She checked everything and she was like, you were right. I was like, once again, I'm the doctor here. So,
And then she let you burn them off yourself.
yes, I was like, I'll do that. I'll actually handle that. No, it's like, see, got a little.
Oh, a little dot.
It really is like just a little pinch of numbing. And then it's so quick and easy. I did not know what was happening that day. Like I was like, oh, I thought I'd have to come back for this. She's like, no, we're going to do them right now. So hopefully I'm fine. I mean,
I hope so too.
you know, obviously it's always a little concerning when they take your moles. And then she was like, I think I'm going to want to see you twice a year.
Because you're a moley.
Just probably my type of skin, the moles, my fair skin. Yeah.
you do it. But
All my other weird shit going on. She's stumped about the stuff on my neck. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Well, I'm glad you got that taken care of. I should put it in your contract that you swear that you'll get your moles checked twice a year. You know, like when you're an athlete, you have like, what's the clause called? But like pro athletes can't go like skydiving or race car driving.
Right. Yeah.
And so I would like you to get your moles checked.
Well, I'm down to go. It was less than a mile from my house. I was
Okay.
in and out. She was no nonsense because she came in when I was still changing and she wasn't like, oh, excuse me. She was like, let's get to it. Like I was naked and she was like, all right, well, you know, I'm going to see it all anyway, which I love that energy.
Oh, I love it. And I feel like when doctors give me the time to get all worked up, then I will get worked up. Like,
Yeah.
but if they're just like, let's just do this shit. Like
That
I had to get vaccinated the other day to meet my nephew.
Yeah.
And this guy just 3 needles in my arm. Bup, bup, bup.
Yeah.
Didn't even like stop. He wasn't like, and here we go. And he was just like stab, stab, stab.
Yeah. She was no nonsense. And like, I was like, oh, one more thing while I have you, do you have a vein specialist? And she was like, yep, give him the card. And she was out. I was done. Oh my God. Like it was so quick and easy. Moles removed, got the card for the vein specialist. See you back in 6 months. We'll call you if you have cancer. Done.
She sounds like a New Yorker.
100%.
All right, let's thank them our partners and then jump in. Thanks to Quince, get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order at quince.com/GGE. And thanks to ZBiotics, get 15% off at zbiotics.com/GGE with code GGE.
Yes, and thanks to Storyworth, get $10 off your first purchase at storyworth.com/GGE. And Nutrafol, which I just told my dermatologist that I'm taking it, get $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping at Nutrafol.com with code GGE10.
So as we're recording this, I am waiting for both the keys to my house and my nephew to be born. It keeps getting pushed like day by day by day.
Both
Me waiting for the
things.
keys and her getting induced. So we'll talk about it next week if I ever get the keys and I
Or the
ever meet my
nephew.
nephew. But in the meantime, I am like working on the renovation. And last night I had like a Zoom meeting with the contractors and Ashley. How fucking hot is that guy?
Raina, you sent a screenshot of the Zoom and I just responded to the group chat. You were so fucked. You were grinning ear to ear. I was like, you don't even look at me like that. You are fucked. And then you were telling me about him. I was like, that's it.
To be fair, I probably was laughing at my own joke. He's like, I don't want to say he's rude. He's just, rude is not the word. I work for it a little bit. I got on the Zoom and he was just on another phone call.
Rob does that shit.
I was a little fuckboy in a way I liked. Like, I like talking to him and he's funny and I love looking at him. And he like kind of laughs against his own will at the stuff that I say and I like it. Like,
Yeah.
so we're going to go shopping this week. Me and him. Just me and him.
This is a date. You're already fucking the contractor in your mind.
I deal with him and either his cousin or his brother. I haven't figured out what the relationship is yet, but he seems to travel a lot, so I'll get him when I can. And he's like, do you want to go shopping for doors with me on Thursday and also to a nursery to get plants? So we're going to go plant and door shopping together tomorrow. And the way he talks to me just makes me really want it more. He was like, so we're going to be outside. So just like, make sure you like wear a hat. It gets sunny. And I was like, did you just explain being outside to me?
That's crazy.
I've been outside before. Thank you so much. And he like laughs against his will at me and it makes me laugh.
I like that. I mean, what I know about this guy so far is he needs someone to push back on him, and like give him a hard time. You could be that woman.
The way he talks to me is so funny. I'm like, can I do this thing? And he's like, this is America. Can you pay for it? You could do the thing. I don't know.
Well, I hope it works out. However, I think you're fucked. But yeah, this guy's going to have you in a chokehold in more ways than one.
I hope he literally has me in an actual chokehold.
So my realtor sent me a house this morning and it's probably not the one. Again, I've been trying to buy a house in Dewey Beach for, 4 years. And it is a townhome. It's great. It's on an end. It's in a great location. 4 stories. Like, where is the elevator in this house? Like, I was really laughing, thinking about paying this hefty price, whatever the house is, and being like, I got to go up 4 flights of stairs.
What's on the top floor?
Bedrooms. My parents would never see them. They could never get up there. Raina, I just couldn't stop laughing thinking about like coming from New York. Like you live in a 4th floor walk up. Your bedroom's on the 4th floor.
4 is crazy. I mean,
4 is actually crazy. 3 is fine.
I looked at a house. The ground floor was 2 bedrooms, like guest bedrooms. The second floor was like living room, kitchen, and the third floor was the main bedroom. And even I was like, that's kind of high up.
Yeah. 3-story townhomes, obviously a thing. My house is technically 3 stories. I guess it's low key 4.
But you don't have to go to the top floor.
The roof?
I have to go to the roof.
Yeah. And I guess I do have 4. The basement.
As somebody who already lives in a 4th floor, Ashley, you live in the tallest house. I forget that you already live in one of these.
It's the basement and the
Ashley's
garage.
Like, can you believe it? You literally live in one.
But this between the 2nd floor and the rooftop is not a full story. You know what I mean? Like it's just you go up a few steps, there's a loft space up there or whatever. But I was just laughing. This house is massive, it's way too big for me. It's 5 bedrooms, 3,000 square feet. Like I just don't need a house that big.
What's a rental property?
It would be a rental property.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to own a home that I feel like would be my forever home that's all bedrooms. And also it has a crazy HOA for some odd reason. But I sent it to Matt and he was like, you can cancel your gym membership with that house. Just hoof it up and down those stairs.
That's so many. 3 is where I tap out.
Yes.
I couldn't do 4. And as somebody who lived in New York her whole life, I lived on a 5th floor walk up. That was my tallest one. That was my first apartment in New York. I was sprightly. I was 22.
Yeah.
And then I lived in a 2-floor walk-up a couple times.
I'm a first floor bitch. With the dog, I could never do it. Like
Yeah, with the dog, it's tough.
I had something about it. Like even when I lived in my elevator building, I still, not that I really got to choose, but I was still only like second floor. Like I like being able to get in the stairs. Like I cannot picture a life for myself where I'm waiting for an elevator all day, every day. Like I hate waiting for elevators. But outside of it, like I'm like, I feel like I don't want that to be part of my life. It's part of people's life.
I understand.
But it's just like I
When
can't.
you're ready to go, you want to go.
I'm too impatient.
My brother doesn't like it either. He doesn't want to talk to a doorman. He's like, I won't do it. I don't want to speak to people.
I miss my doorman.
Yeah, I did.
Like I would be one day. I'd be living if I lived back in New York. Whatever. I'm in like on a 6th floor. I'm just in the stairwell every day.
I miss
You know,
your
I'll be in the
doorman.
stairwell of a hotel.
Do you remember how hot your doormen were?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Ashley, I forgot.
How could you forget?
I don't think about them that much
think about
anymore.
them a
But oh my God, they were
kidding.
so hot.
But you'll be
I
like,
miss them.
I feel like we've been sometimes in hotels and I pop out of some random door. I'm like, I took the stairs. Like I will find a stairwell that is staff only if I can. Like I love to take the stairs. I hate waiting for elevators. Like,
In hotels, yeah, I don't like it.
like
either.
if I'm
It
on
takes too long.
a floor that I can get up there, I'm just like, where's the door to the stairs? And they're like, ma'am, you can't do that. I'm like, you have to let me. There has to be an exit.
If it's 4 floors or less, I like to just take the steps. I'm trying to get the
4.
fuck out of there. Not up, down.
Down.
I'm not hoofing it up 4 flights. I'd rather die. Actually, it made me laugh really hard. We were in Philly to do a show last week, and this girl, there was a huge wedding party. It was a lesbian wedding. It was a gigantic, amazing wedding party in the lobby, and all these girls looked so beautiful. They were all the bridesmaids. And one gets in, and into the elevator with me, and she presses 2, and she announces to the whole elevator, and she was like, I'm so sorry, I would walk, but not with this hair and makeup.
I love that.
And like, I thought she was going to say with these shoes.
Yeah.
Not with his hair and makeup. I was like, I love
I
you.
respect it. Well, I was on the 2nd floor in the canopy in Portland, Maine, and there wasn't a stairwell to get up there. I was like, I hate taking the elevator 1 floor up, and then me and Sparkle Eyes took it to go down. I was like, let's just take the stairs. We're on the 2nd floor. And we just ended up outside. Like,
Okay,
it was not this like actually we were like on the street.
It's one of my greatest fears that I go into one of those stairwells and I just
Don't come
can't
out.
get out.
I know.
That phone call you have to make to the front desk to explain where you are. Like, I don't know if I would call you or the front desk. Like, who's going to make fun of me less?
Yeah. I have been in stairwells of hotels. Like, I shouldn't be here.
I
There's
know.
somebody working. There's like a mop bucket. I'm like, this is
It's like the room service people, like, you're not supposed to
Yes.
be there.
know.
I know. And I'm just like, I don't know who I would phone. I'd probably call Tessa. I like the sound of her laugh and she would make fun of me the least. But no, I did go on a date with this other guy this week. And I just want to say, I mean, he was very nice, but he did this thing and I just thought like I walked into the date and it like melted my heart. I walked in and he was facing the wall. And I loved it so much. And I think that's such a nice green flag that like somebody didn't take the girl seat.
you saved the booth for you.
Like, I think that really takes some thought to be like, I'm
Yeah.
early, I'm 10 minutes ahead of her. I will sit and stare at this wall so she can have the better seat, even though I am paying.
yeah. But was he looking around like to see when you walked in?
It was a really busy restaurant. And
Yeah.
I actually, the hostess was directly in front of my body and kind of blocked him until I got to the.
Yeah. Because I would
Why?
also be fine if I walked in and he was sitting in that seat because it's the better seat while he waited and then he got up and like
That'd be nice
offered it to
too.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, you know, you got to see when your date walks in. But I thought that was really nice.
I've been on several dates where I get there and they're sitting in the booth and they don't like offer me the seat.
Whoa,
but I
whoa.
go back and forth. I don't
No.
know. I go back and forth because I'm like, this is a stranger. I don't expect him to sit for 10 minutes and stare at a wall.
That's what I'm saying. It's a little simpy.
It's a little simpy.
I don't want you to sit there staring at the wall. I want you to be open to the room in the booth,
Okay, but that's awkward. Listen,
watching me walk in, and then you get up because you should get up when I walk in anyway if you're a gentleman.
That's the smoothest move in the world. They're sitting in the booth.
Yes.
You get there, and they're like, "No, please sit here."
Well, 'cause
that is
you-
some riz.
Need to rise anyway to greet me. The whole thing is there has to be a transition
rise.
anyway. You have to stand up anyway. So then it's like, why don't you take the booth? Ooh, it's sexy.
That's so sexy. Now I kind of have the ick about that. He just sat there and stared at the wall doing what?
when you told me, I was just picturing him. He's just like simping out, waiting for Raina.
Well, I got a DM from a listener and she was like, I gotta tell you, sis, you look really hot, but you do not seem interested in this date. And I
Yeah.
was like, I think I did a better job of pretending than she thinks I did. But the tables were really close together. And it is funny because you're like aware that other people are aware that you're on a first date.
Ugh. I know. Like, I love nothing more than being in the presence of that.
Love it.
But I hate that, like, I could be on a first date and like someone is listening to me.
I know. I was just like,
and then they get to go home with their fucking partner and be like, oh my God, could you believe that first date?
well, the two people next to us was these two like really cute girls to the left of me that were just like talking their shit. And on the right of me was this couple that did not speak a word to each other for the entire time. And I was like, I wish Ashley was here to just
that's our favorite
watch
thing.
this with me.
Yeah.
I mean, they just did not talk to each other at all. And then I was like, I said to him, I was like, can I just tell you what's so crazy? I was like, did you notice they didn't talk to each other? Like not one word this entire date. And he goes, no.
He didn't notice.
And I was like, oh no.
It's okay. It is a little bit more of a female trait. Like even I've been out with my fiance and I'm like trying to eavesdrop on people and he is still talking to me. I'm like, what? Excuse me.
Maybe he was just paying attention to me and not the other tables. I'm like, if you're going to be with me, you need to talk shit on everybody in this room. Okay. You need to listen to me and also multitask.
That is
I'm like,
so
can
true.
you believe this motherfucker just had his attention on me?
That is so true. Like that is something I would say to Sparkle Eyes. I'd be like, did you hear that? He'd be like, no, babe, I was intently listening to you. And I'm like, well, pull your shit together. Of course. Yeah. You can't
Don't.
multitask. Yeah. We're supposed to be spying on these other people.
Well, he was a nice person, not a love match because of the staring at the wall thing. No, he really was a nice person. And sometimes you go on those dates and you just go home so devastated and upset and you're like, that was such a nightmare. And this was just right up the middle. And I'll take that. I'll take just somebody being polite and kind and paying for dinner and being respectful of me and asking me nice questions. And then we go about our day. Yeah.
Yeah. They exist.
They do exist.
Well, so we wanted to talk about a topic. Tessa sent this to us and you know, everything comes out of TikTok these days, but Bustle, we haven't talked about Bustle in a while, but Bustle wrote an article titled For Gen Z, Making Out is Hotter Than Sex. And it's just basically about how a hot makeout session could be steamier than sex. In a viral video posted on October 7th, creator Disturbed Big Sis said, bring back dry humping 2025, which I love. While talking about how actual sex is rarely as good as a passionate kiss. Like, why do we have to go from making out to having sex? Can we dry hump with clothes on at least 3 times first, please? And it has all these likes and comments, and people were like, finally someone said it, and like, you're right, queen. And I am here for it. This doesn't have to be specific to Gen Z. This applies to everybody. I think we all can kind of like feel this.
Well, they talk about like why. Also, I do agree it's very steamy and really turns me on. And I love dry humping. I don't know that it's I would like to have sex, but like I don't need it on like a first through third date.
Mm-hmm.
If I know that I'm going to sleep with you, we have all the time in the world, and I feel very turned on by a makeout session. But it talks about why there's a noticeable rise in abstinence due in the part of access to reproductive health care, which I think is interesting. It's also a broader definition of what constitutes as sex, pointing at sexting as an example. So, I mean, I do remember dating in like my so many years ago in my 20s, and like sexting just wasn't. It wasn't so much a thing. Sending photos. I mean, this really like ages me, but like, what I was going to send a nude on my BlackBerry?
Yeah.
I wasn't sexting as much back then. I was just ready to get it
what
popping.
body parts you're looking at.
Right. Is that your thigh?
Photos.
I know. So I just think there's other ways to feel intimacy with people now. I don't think there's as much of a rush. I think we have more access to people than ever. You could go out every night of the week and fuck a different person. And I think that sort of diminishes the excitement of it. And I like the chase a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, this also depends on what stage you are with a person. Like, I'll certainly have like hot steamy makeouts with my fiance, but they usually lead to sex and we have great sex. And so that's what we both want, but sometimes not. But with a new person, like the sex can also often be disappointing. I mean, I think sometimes the stories that we share over brunch are like, oh my God, the makeout, or like we were just so passionately, we wanted each other so badly. Like those are kind of the things that get you really turned on early days. It's not so much the penetration of it all.
I actually think like the dry humping and your hands are just like gripping all over different things and you're making out, it's the anticipation of it. That's usually better than the first time you have sex with somebody.
100%.
The first like 2 times you have casual sex with somebody and you're just like figuring it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take making out and dry humping over that a lot of times.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just so big on foreplay, and I think it's, of course, we talked about, you know, everybody loves a quickie now and then, but like it is major. It is major to get lubricated. It is major to have a better orgasm when you have so much build up and foreplay and you're so turned on and all those things. So yeah, like I don't know many women that aren't like, yeah, let's do this for longer. You know, like I know sometimes you want to get it in, but I think most women are like, can we rub up against each other and make out for longer? Because I love this.
I hope that this is also that like women feel that their value in a relationship isn't just sex and that they can provide other value and they don't need it to feel good about themselves or to make them feel like a man likes them. Like I hope some of this is just due in part to women feeling like I don't owe this to anybody. I don't have to prove my value with this. I don't have to make somebody like me with this. And that maybe like the tides are changing in terms of what women want to give of themselves and what men expect of women. Because for most of the podcast, one of the number one questions we ever got was like, how soon do you sleep with somebody? And now it just sounds like people are waiting a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I like to see it.
And we have said this since day one. I mean, those first few dates, it's so hot to have a hot makeout, dry humping, touching each other, you know, second base kind of stuff. And the anticipation of having sex later, like it's always okay to wait. I mean, I just think that goes a long way. Like those memories keep you going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just love this one quote. It says, sexual anticipation can sometimes be better than having sex at all because it's that intense sexual chemistry that's compounding without ever having a release, says Lee Noren, a sex therapist and coach. It's all about where will this go as opposed to satisfying the itch right away. I love that.
I love it. And you can pretend that someone's good in bed.
You can suspend reality. Yeah, but I do.
They can have as
Obviously,
big of
I
a
love the
hog
sex.
on them
Yeah.
as you want them to be.
Yeah.
Or small.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have a great episode for you guys today. We have Nick back on the show. But before we welcome him, we're just going to take a couple partners.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys about Storyworth. We love when we get to talk about Storyworth because that means the holidays or some holiday is coming up. So this is truly one of the best gifts. If you are wondering what are you going to get for somebody, a family member, this is really going to be it, especially like a parent or a grandparent. We are just such fans of it. So the way that it works is you're going to go and you're going to purchase your Storyworth. Let's say you want to get it for your mom or your dad, and then they will email your loved one a thought-provoking question that you get to help pick. So some questions might be like, what's the bravest thing you've ever done? What's the farthest you've ever traveled? Or how did you used to get to school every day? And you can go in and you can tailor them. So we've done it for my mom and my dad, but I can't remember. One of them I didn't know I could choose the questions, and so I just like let it rip. And I feel like my dad was like, what is this question? And then when we did it for my mom, I like went in and kind of like chose them. So it's really fun. Like they supply the questions, but you can pick and choose. And then they make the writing process a breeze. Your loved one is going to need to respond to that email with a story. Again, they just like bang it out. I thought it was so cute when I would like see my dad was like responding to his Storyworth. And then you're going to be emailed a copy of your loved one's response as they're submitted over the course of the year. And then they can pile it into this book. It's this beautiful keepsake hardcover book. It isn't some sort of like cheap photo book. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but this is this actual like beautiful book that you can share and revisit for generations to come. So we're obsessed with it. I mean, so many of my family members have gotten it. I think it's like the best way that you can learn about your loved ones and then preserve their memories. Families just love it. It has more than 35,000 5-star reviews on Trustpilot, millions of stories preserved since they were founded over 10 years ago. I loved reading about my parents' marriage and some of the dates that my dad took my mom on, and you know, my mom when she was pregnant with me and different things like that. It's just like really special and heartwarming. So you can help your family members share and capture their stories this holiday season with Storyworth. Go to storyworth.com/GGE today and save $10 on your first purchase. That's STORYWORTH.com/GGE to save $10 on your first purchase. Storyworth.com/GGE.
And since it's getting cozier, we're going into fall. If you want to refresh your wardrobe or maybe even look for gifts for other people, Quince is something that Ashley and I absolutely love. Can't recommend it enough. You will find so much on their website from accessories, bags, shoes, clothing, so many basics. I'm really crazy about it. And Quince is known for their Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50. I mean, if you've ever bought cashmere, you know that that is an unbelievable price. And they have it as cardigans, button downs, sweaters, turtlenecks.
Tees, cashmere tee.
Yes.
That is quite luxury right there. Like a cashmere tee tucked into some like trousers with a belt.
And it comes with a ton of different color options. I'm just really crazy what they do. And it's not just that. All the Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands and includes beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, denim, so much more. I just am constantly so impressed by the quality and the prices on their website. I really love the purses. And I mean, I know we mentioned these cashmere sweaters, but like the colors are so beautiful. This Mongolian cashmere V-neck sweater in this maroon color. I love the maroon that they're doing. It's called Rich Burgundy on the site. And I mean, there's like 9 different colors. It's beautiful varsity red. The colors are great. You know, Ashley and I are just crazy about their washable silk. There's something there really for you or for anybody in your life if you're thinking about holiday gifting. And they only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. So that's really important to us. You can get cozy with Quince's high quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/GGE for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/GGE to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/GGE.
Okay, let's get into it.
Okay, guys, we are very excited to welcome back a friend of the show. He is the host of the Viall Files. Please welcome back Nick Viall.
Raina, such a short intro.
I'm going to gas him up.
Why does it need to be longer?
I don't know. Raina, she usually goes harder.
I didn't notice that you guys don't have my book anywhere back here.
It's in my actual personal stack.
It's Friday, everybody. She's slipping.
I want to start by saying congratulations to you two ladies.
What do we do?
You guys clearly are the muse for the new hit show. No One Wants This.
Yeah, we got that a lot.
It's both. It's like, I know it's not. It's like about their life, and you know, she married a Jewish man who was a rabbi, or blah 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 blah.
Aaron
but
Foster.
Like, do they have? They don't have a hit sex and relationship dating podcast.
It's not a hit, but it does exist.
They had one.
They have one.
They have one.
Aaron Foster and Sarah Foster have a podcast together,
but not a dating and sex podcast.
No, it's just about their.
And did they have
it's just
one?
About whatever.
Did they have one when she met this guy?
No, I'm not sure how long the podcast has been around.
Did they live in Venice?
I know.
I'll take it.
You two.
And they started pitching that show right around the time when we were kind of new on the scene. They've been pitching it for like 5 years, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
it's clearly, and then, you know, one sister's way taller than the other. It's just like.
I know. When I saw that they cast 2 people that were so tall and short, I was like, it is us.
No, it's you. It's you two.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we love the show, and we don't feel ripped off.
No, I don't. I feel like you should be. This is
flattered.
We should sue them.
No,
we should have done it.
We should get a cameo in the next season.
We got a lot of that from our audience, and we absolutely
They should have
the
name
show.
dropped you guys at least.
I know.
Call Her Daddy got a name drop.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when you get a $60 million deal.
Yeah. Followed by a $100 million deal.
So we appreciate it.
Nick, to gas you up more, you're the only podcast I listen to besides ours.
Oh my God.
And we're the only podcast you come on.
I don't even listen to mine.
It's okay.
I try to. I'm just too busy.
I mean, you do 3 a week, and you're a dad
7,
now. You're River's dad.
Yes, dad life is great.
Yeah.
Well, I want to circle back. You don't do podcasts, but you do ours. And so we just want to let everybody know.
Well, I have done plenty. I just dad life, the show has been popping off and busy. And it was just like, why? I have a podcast. If I have anything interesting to say, I'll say it on my show.
Exactly.
Why am I doing other people's shows? And then I would do favors for people and always became some kind of headache or whatever. So I just kind of stopped doing them. But you guys reached out.
Here
you
you
guys
are.
are friends.
Well,
but also, like, I
hard.
like talking dating relationships with you two ladies. And it's more like us just like shooting the shit rather than like,
Yeah.
you know.
I listen to your show all the time. I listen multiple times a week. It's my
it good?
number 1 car podcast.
you
Yeah,
like
it's
it?
great. And I love the tea.
Do you have any notes?
Good.
Ashley and I are so obsessed with Love is Blind, and I'm so obsessed with Bravo. And so, like, it's just a real hit for me.
Well,
Yeah.
that makes me happy.
It's
Because I'm very
really-
self-conscious.
No,
Yeah,
I
you
love
seem
it
like
too.
it.
I love it on walks. I'll be like, I want to go walk for an hour. And so you got to cue it up.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I just want to make sure we continually put out a good show. So
Yeah, we
it's
love
good to
it.
hear feedback from professionals like you.
Thanks.
We were just talking about Love is Blind before we recorded at length. And I mean, you get them all. You get everybody.
You know, I have a close relationship with that franchise, and they're kind to me, and it's a mutually beneficial relationship. But
Yeah.
And you ask them all the questions everybody wants to know. I mean, I think I remember posting a comment on some reel. I don't even remember what season it was. And I was like, you're giving us what Nick and Vanessa didn't.
we try to.
And it got so many likes because everybody felt that. It's just like you're getting these interviews that people are dying to know.
I appreciate you saying, and you know, I also understand, in fairness to like any host of a reunion or a TV show, they film these things for hours.
Yes.
They don't get to edit it, so there's always the possibility that maybe they're asking questions that for whatever reason don't make the final cut.
Mm-hmm.
But
Good
like,
point.
Except for the live.
but what's
one.
consistent about Nick and Vanessa is their insistence on talking about meaningless, stupid things.
Yes.
And that is making the cut. So I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think they're asking. Vanessa clearly doesn't watch the show.
What do you think she watches?
I don't think she watches.
You think she just gets like the Cliff Notes?
I think she shows up, gets the Cliff Notes, maybe skims. She's not a fan of the show like we are. She's not watching.
That is such a hot take.
This is an opinion. I have no inside information on this.
I will say, like, I've watched every Andy Cohen hosted reunion for a decade plus, and he is clearly a fan of the show. Yeah. He watches it, and he doesn't really let people off the hook. Yeah. Like, he keeps digging in until you get the answer.
That's what Nick does. What he does. On his interviews.
Yeah. I have a question for you, just for my own information. So, I really got into your show around the time of Scandival about 2.5 years ago. And because I needed community, I needed to listen to more people talk about it. Prior to that, you mostly did Bachelor stuff. And like, was your entree into like the Bravo world Scandival?
Yeah.
So you didn't really watch. Now you really are like the go-to place for all these reality TV stars to like give exclusives.
My show, we were on our 800th and whatever episode. I started in 2019. I think about it all the time, but it's not the same show. The bones of what my show has always been some version of relationship in pop culture and reality TV podcast. Mm-hmm. Like from episode 1, we talked about relationships and we talked about reality TV on some way, but it has drastically evolved, over the years. And, I didn't start doing Bachelor recaps until a year in, until I started getting like just recognition for a show that was not reality TV focused. And that was just kind of my own, wanted to prove that to myself type of thing. And then we started doing that, had success with that, expanded the show. And then, I got into Scandival. I'm always looking for ways to stay fresh and grow the show. You ladies are an exception to the rule as well. But like most podcasts, they pop and they just slowly die. Mm-hmm. You have to keep being innovative.
Yeah, and evolving.
And the show, again, having always been some kind of pop culture relationship podcast, all forms of reality TV are really just, a way to talk about interpersonal relationships and social dynamics, and using it as a launching pad to relate to our own lives. And so coming from that space, and I know how it all is made, I know how it works, so I'm able to empathize from a production standpoint, from a contestant standpoint. And so, it's just fun, and I enjoy talking about it. And we started with Scandival, and then Salt Lake City popped. I got into that, and that was amazing. So then I started looking at other housewife shows, and then we came up with Reality Recap a couple years ago and just kind of broadened our horizons. And it was Love is Blind. I think Love is Blind was the next step after Bachelor. We got into Love is Blind. And then like this past summer, Love Island, because I was always like, you should watch Love Island. I was like, oh my God, there's so many shows. And then Ariana was the host. So I was like, let's watch our girl. Let's see how she's doing. And then it was like, oh, this shit's amazing, and it was shockingly easy to binge. And so, we just kind of kept evolving.
I love to hear it. And I love that you're like, it's not the same show. And that's the point. People are always like, you've changed. And it's like, that's the point. Yeah. We're supposed to change and evolve and grow. Yeah. And I just love it. You're really the go-to for all these people. And it seems like you kind of just fell into it and you're crushing it. And we love it.
Well, I appreciate you saying likewise. You ladies are.
Oh my gosh, Nick. Oh, yeah. Well, 2 things I want to say before we move into like more of a topic. But you do have a book that you wrote, which we promoted last time, but I want to drive people to it again. Don't Text Your Ex Happy Birthday. And I love it. And it's just, really, Ashley and I both really love it. It's tons of topics just about modern day dating and relationships. I really recommend that people look it up, read it.
It's on the property, allegedly.
It's in my bedroom.
Just not in the
It's in my bedroom. It's in my personal stack.
Yeah, Raina likes to read it before bed. It's her bedtime story.
No, I appreciate you saying. I want to write another one. I need to start like just writing at night just to write and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Well, your life is different. You're a dad.
We like our Ask Nick shows, which is every Monday where people just call in and share their stories. Like it always was and still is. Most of the callers are, it's a lot of dating and relationships, meeting fuckboys, dealing with situationships. But, every once in a while I'll get a caller asking a new problem, like a parent-child relationship or a friend relationship. And people have enjoyed that perspective I've shared. So then we get more of those. And I've been really into the whole like parent-child dynamic, which has been a lot of fun to talk about. And so it's just like different aspects of life and things like that we dive into.
I think it helps your audience feel like you grew up with them. And I think about the stuff that Ashley and I talked about 7 years ago that I'm still proud of it, but we've grown up. Our lives are different. Ashley's engaged. And so the stuff that you're going to talk about is different, the things that you give advice on. And I don't know that I'd give the same advice today that I would 7 years ago. I think the advice was good 7 years ago, but I'm older, I'm calmer, I'm wiser.
When we started our shows, the word gaslighting didn't even exist.
Totally.
Totally. No, we weren't.
Certainly not.
We weren't saying narcissist all the time.
God,
yeah.
It would be like, what is that? Like, you'd think it would be something you read in a...
Boundaries? I didn't really even know the word boundaries.
So we're going to get into the topic, but we just want to life update. You weren't a dad when we had you on before. How is it going?
Amazing. Love being a dad.
Okay.
It's been really great. We're putting up a tree tonight. It's November 1st.
Oh, Mariah Carey has defrosted and trees are going up.
We dressed River up as a little strawberry yesterday.
Oh my God.
No, it's great. I mean, we were very lucky. She's an easy baby. Also, she's a beautiful baby.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. Yeah, honestly, I'm really I'm on a heater life-wise.
Love to hear it.
Work's been good, life's been good.
Yeah.
Nally and I are working together. That's been great having her on. I think she's the best part of the show. She brings a cool, funny element to the show that I don't know if it ever had it before she came, and it's fun doing it with my wife, and so that's fun. And yeah, life's great.
She has funny one-liners. She was fighting with Tom Sandoval. I was dying.
Yeah. She's very funny.
All right. Well, thank you for
you
that.
guys are a good. We talk a lot about marriage and who it benefits, and a lot of women feel like they don't get the best end of the deal. And you have men over here marriage is great for me, and you guys seem like you have a great mutually beneficial partnership.
We both put in maximum effort.
Yeah, exactly.
We do couples therapy. We had it yesterday. I came from individual therapy here, so I'm cleansed. I'm ready to go.
Oh wow, 2 therapies a week. Okay.
Yeah, we work really hard on our relationship.
Yeah.
And it's as imperfect as any other relationship, but we work really hard, and it really matters to me to be a great husband and to be a great dad. It's that's the thing I care most about. I mean, everything I do, I think, is for the purposes of my family, and I take great pride in making it worth my wife's time.
Love that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And vice versa. And she does the same for me. Yeah, I will say, not to toot my own horn or pat me on the back, but ask Nick, you just hear about a lot of bad partners and a lot of men or just bad dads. I think that's more shocking to me than anything. I mean, two people dating. Listen, it's easy to get on each other's nerves and it's easy not to appreciate each other, but not appreciating your children and not being there. It's shocking to me the amount of deadbeat dads out there.
Totally. Yeah.
I like that you say that it is work. I think so many people see relationships on social media and they're like, this looks so perfect. And you're like, that I worked on that. It's not an accident.
We work on it every day. Relationships are work. And then they're beautiful and they're amazing and they're so rewarding. But they don't work because of fate or, because you met in a great, cool way.
Yeah.
That's not why they work. You wake up every day, you choose to be in this relationship and either enjoy the good times or address a problem or a disconnection that you have, and some of those are minor things, some of those are bigger things, and you just have to decide to be in it or not.
But you said something you said, I want to be a good partner. If that is how someone genuinely feels and they lead with that, it should really work out. You know what I mean? That's how I feel with my fiance. We both just really want to be a good partner to each other. I think we hear about all this bad behavior all the time. And it's if you actually at its root, that person does not care. They don't want to be a good partner, whether it's that they don't want to be in this relationship anymore or whatever they have going on. Their choice is not to be a good partner to you at its core.
I mean, one thing that's a common thing I always say on the show, it's just there's a lot of people like having a boyfriend or girlfriend, but they're not really interested in being one.
Love that quote. Yeah. I don't love that it happens, but I love the quote. Yeah.
There's a lot, specifically with men. A lot of guys love having a girlfriend, but don't want to be a boyfriend.
Love a girlfriend experience. Yeah. Absolutely.
But that's the same thing with marriage. What guy doesn't want a wife,
a maid, a cook,
to do everything for them and, support them. And then it's not reciprocal. So that's such a great way to frame it. And I feel for anybody that has just had the light bulb go off of that's what I'm dealing with.
Well, you think about going back to Hannah from Love is Blind. It's just her criticism about being harsh with Nick, she's more internalizing as what people think of her as a person. It doesn't seem like she's taking it as I don't want to be the nagging partner, as opposed to You know what I'm saying? She's it's more like, I don't want people to think I'm a bitch, but it's more like she doesn't seem to have a problem with
the content of the conversation.
Yeah, or how or how is it a reflection of her as a partner, you know?
Which is crazy. I know.
Here he is, he apologized. She's like, let me ruin your life.
Well, we want to get into the topic. We stole it from you. So we just want to give you credit. We were perusing some of your episodes, and this one says,
Am I the crazy ex?
Am I the crazy ex? I think that's what you guys called it. We were like, that's a great topic. And so you're already well versed in it. But we just love this because I think that you hear a lot of men call their ex crazy who are not crazy. They're just saying that it can be a red flag if a guy is like, all my exes are crazy. But sometimes you are the crazy ex.
Well, I'm always like, what'd you do to make her crazy?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to know how you feel about people acting crazy after a breakup, but have you been the crazy ex?
For sure, yeah.
I have. I caught somebody cheating on me, and my friend and I got like paint, like house paint, and threw it all over his car in front of her house. Like the giant things of paint. And I was young.
I've never done that. I've never done anything illegal.
But also I was 21, and I think the consequences don't feel as heavy when you're that age. Like I just think like revenge is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. But at 21, when you catch your boyfriend parked outside of his ex-girlfriend's house and you see his car, it feels really good to throw paint all over it.
I will say, growing up and becoming more emotional and mature, emotionally more regulated, when I feel wronged or slighted by someone, you know, it's like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, being the bigger person is so fucking boring and annoying. And it's like, honestly, sometimes I get so fucking tired of it. I know it's the right thing for for my mental health, to not care. Living well is the best revenge. But sometimes you just want to ruin someone's life.
I know.
You know? And it's so annoying doing the right thing all the time. I'm like, to always be the bigger person. I'm just so fed up with my maturity, I think, sometimes.
I just think when I look at it, I'm like, you can't just ruin someone's life and walk away. This is going to be a long road. This is going to be like a war. You know, like sometimes when I'm like, I could do this thing, but it won't end there. And then I have to stress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if you want to argue back and forth with someone on the internet, you know, you're like, I can't just shut it down. Like this will follow me and stress me out and keep me up at night. Like that's like a minor example, but something about it, I think we all can be like, I wish I could just do this one thing and like get them back, but it like wouldn't end there. Then they would have to get you back, and then you have to go back and forth, and then it's like this long journey.
It does prolong the cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I've gotten older, you have to be the bigger person. I feel like it's bad for my soul.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that like, it's different when somebody comments something mean on my Instagram and I want to be mean to them back. And I'm like, just move along. But like when somebody who is supposed to be kind to you, who you've given your body to and your heart, and when they fuck you over, it's like, you don't even know what to do with that energy in your body. It's so painful.
Well, you just have to let it go. You know, you have to find an outlet for it. Because like, without getting into too much detail, like over the course of my life, and I now have a same experience. Like, you know, we've lost touch with friends and whatever. And I've had people like did not let it go, and they would try. You could tell like from afar they were just, not letting the conflict go, and my life would greatly advance, and theirs wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And you couldn't help but wonder it's because of all the energy they're investing in and not like being petty or, talking behind my back or, it's like, I preach about this all the time, but your energy is not infinite. It's the things you think about take energy. You could be doing a million other things. And so when you think about it that way, you think about like how much energy revenge costs you and where it keeps your focus.
Yeah, I think one of the best revenges in life is just being unbothered. And even if you are so devastated to your core and you're going to therapy and you're journaling and this person is on your mind constantly, because that pain can last a really long time. I was like pretty deep in Reddit today, just people talking about like I broke up with somebody 6 months ago, and I was just reading people's breakup stories. But like, people saying like, I can't let this go. It's been 6 months. I'm in so much pain. I understand that sits with you, but like the best revenge is to not let that person know that. Like, don't fuck with their life. Don't talk shit on them. Like, how nice does it feel to at least have them think you are unbothered?
Yeah. Also after 6 months, you're holding on to that pain.
Yes.
And you're doing it because it's the only, a couple of reasons. One, it's, if it's a breakup, part of it is it's the only thing you have left of that person.
Yeah.
You hold on to the pain because
Right.
to let that go, then it's really over.
Yeah.
You know? And then part of it, you let that go because you become familiar with it. You know, you identify with it, you know, might be, you might have even gotten attention from it, you know? And I think after 6 months, if you're still telling yourself you can't let it go. And I've been that person who's convinced I couldn't get over it, just couldn't do it, you know? But yeah, it's a choice. At that point, you know, after a month or two, it's a choice. You can't help how your body feels about something, but you can help how you respond to that feeling, you know?
Well, I love that you say that. And a word you said earlier that stuck with me is like being regulated. And it's the way that things activate us in the words of Lindsay Hubbard. I used to be so reactive and I was like absolutely a crazy ex. And my ex was crazy too. We were just very volatile and, you know, like I would go over to his house, you know, and after we'd broken up because he'd like lied to me if he was like dating someone new and I like busted in the house one time. He was like recording a podcast and I don't know that person anymore. And I was in my 30s, you know, like this is not that I was 21. And I mean, granted, it was still like a lot of years ago, but I don't recognize that person. And I have never even like raised my voice at my fiance. Like I couldn't be more different. And I'm not blaming my ex completely. Like it was who I was at the time too. Like I have worked on being less reactive, regulating myself, and I'm with a partner that we don't have that sort of toxic, volatile relationship. But you really just like see red, like you are out of body. Like those moments when I was doing those crazy things, I felt like I was looking down on myself, like totally out of body experience. And I know people have different ways to self-regulate and decompress and just breathe through it, but you're just, so much of it is like that rage and reactivity that you do something crazy. Like you have not taken a break to process the anger. You just like let it take over. And I think that we all can grow out of that. I think that I'm proof of that.
Yeah, we have that relationship you're talking about, the one where I threw the paint on his car. Like we're in a psychotic, toxic cycle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what we did. Yeah. We were just terrible to each
That's
other.
the thing. Yeah, you get in those relationships where that becomes your love language with each other is to
Yeah.
piss each other off or fight or compete with each other. I was talking with Natalie the other day. I was like, I honestly think you're the first relationship I've ever had where we don't compete. You know, like I was telling my therapist, Darlene, that, and she was saying how like her first husband. Because like when I say compete, I don't mean just like on game night. I mean like she was saying, for example, like her ex-husband would compete with who had the worst day every day. You know, it's like, oh, I had such a bad day, and your partner's like, well, I had a worse day. You know, it's just like couples do that all the fucking time. You know, and it's so nice to be in a relationship with someone who doesn't feel the need to compete with you, but be a cheerleader and things like that. That is really nice. But yeah, you're a, you know, the couples can definitely develop some really bad habits where it just becomes how you guys operate with each other. But yeah, it's I was thinking about that too. It's just like the amount of shit I don't care about that I used to is wild. Yeah. You know? Yeah. It's just like, and you know, part of the reason why Natalie and I don't fight like a fraction as much as I fought with any other girlfriend I ever had is a big part of me. You know? It's, you know, granted, they played their role too, but like I was a lot more stubborn and a lot more pig-headed and a lot more set in my ways and also a lot more determined to be right, you know, than I am now, where it's not like...
You do grow up and evolve. I mean, I remember that the girl in me that was dating this person, and it was always, like Ashley said, this out-of-body experience where I was so angry and so crazy, and I can't even imagine a scenario in my life that I would have that type of interaction one time with a romantic partner and ever go back. I can't feel like that. That's not energy I'm going to expend. I'm not going to be that mean. I'm not going to swear and scream. I will not have one day like that ever again with a romantic partner and then go back to that person. And that just comes with age. You know, like I don't even think I realized then that the entire personality of our relationship was seeing like who could be more terrible and crazy to the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that I, on some level, can teach my daughter some things that it took me a lifetime to learn. Some of it I won't be able to, you know, but I hope on some ways I can teach my daughter perspective, which, you know.
I think you will.
I hope.
You're on that road.
I think there's more information today. Like, I think that there's so many more people in podcasting, writing books, in self-help that you can listen to. I mean, there's an endless amount of people. There's a little too much podcast equipment sometimes. But I think that there's just more people to say, like, just put it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, just going to take a quick break. I am going to tell you guys about Nutrafol. I mentioned earlier I was just at the dermatologist and I was telling her about my hair, and I really didn't have any concerns, but I told her I've had concerns in the past and this is what I'm using and it's really improved. I mean, I really feel like I'm in such a good place. I mean, I had a lot of hair that shedded, and so I really needed to get it back, and I really feel like I'm getting there, and I have been taking it for so long. You know, I really started taking it in 2020, and you know, over the years I've been on and off, but I've been so dedicated to it really since 2023, when I kind of went through some hormonal changes that really caused my hair to change a lot, and a lot of shedding, and, you know, it really impacted me like looks wise, but also like emotionally. I think so much of women's like confidence and self-esteem is tied to their hair. I've always had this like really long, pretty hair. So I love that I can lean on this, and it's really helping me get to where a place I'm going to be. Hair thinning affects approximately 1 in 2 women. It's totally normal. A lot of women struggle with it, and this is how you can really get ahead of it and improve your hair health, finding the root cause of it. Everybody's got a different root cause for their hair shedding, and so this is going to be the supplement that you take. It's 4 capsules daily. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months. Physician formulated, 100% drug-free ingredients, and again, targets the root causes, which could be stress, hormones, aging, nutrition, lifestyle, and metabolism. And you can purchase online. No prescription is required. Automated deliveries, which is great. Free shipping keeps you on track. And if you guys want some stats on this, 86% of women reported improved hair growth after taking Nutrafol Women Hair Growth Supplement for 6 months. And they have different formulas as well, so you'll see which one works best for you. You can get results you can run your fingers through. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code GG10. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code GGE10. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code GGE10.
So it's coming up on holiday season. It's the fall in general, which means more partying, which always means more drinking for me. And honestly, after a night of drinking, I don't really bounce back the way that I used to. And I've always looked for a solution, and I'm so happy we found a pre-alcohol probiotic. It's from the brand ZBiotics. So their probiotic was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. I never really knew this, but when you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut, and it's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for the rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces this enzyme to break that product down. This is a proactive solution that wards off feeling miserable the next day instead of a reactive approach like drinking electrolytes or eating greasy food. So I just take it before I have a night of drinking. I notice a difference the next day. After a night out, I can confidently plan to like not worry about the next day. I don't have to worry about sleeping poorly that night. I just drink it before my first drink, and you wouldn't believe how on top of my game I really am the next morning. And Ashley and I run 2 companies, and I want to be sprightly.
It's really tiny little, by the way.
Yes.
It's just like, it's less than a shot. It's just like this little vial. You just toss it back before you start drinking, and you're good to go.
And the packaging is so cute.
I know, I love it.
You can stock up on pre-alcohol now for all of your fall and holiday activities. Enhance your mornings with ZBiotics. Go to zbiotics.com/GGE to get 15% off your first order when you use GGE at checkout. ZBiotics is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee. If you are unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money. No questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/GGE and use the code GGE at checkout for 15% off. Thank you, ZBiotics, for sponsoring this episode and our good times.
Okay. We want to go through some of these like psychotic behaviors. And I just want to say, so many of us have been here. This is no judgment.
I wrote this list based on
you
me
can
now.
evolve. You can
Yeah,
evolve
we've all
past
been here.
it. Yeah.
We've all been. Yeah.
And I just, again, like I use myself as an example of when you're in doing those crazy things. Like I think you always are worried that's who you are, and you're worried that you'll be like that in the next relationship, and that's not true. You know, like I think if you get out of one of those really toxic relationships and then you start to date someone new and things feel really like stable and secure, I think there's always part of you like looking behind your shoulder, like, what if that bitch comes back? You know, and that's not true. It doesn't have to be. It could be. You could be a psycho for life.
A lot of people, like when they're in safe and secure relationships, are bored.
Right, exactly.
And they self-sabotage.
Exactly.
And
There's
start,
that. Yeah.
I have different people in my life. Like, I think back to when I was acting like that, I had friends that were egging it on a little more.
Yeah.
I also think when you're 21, everybody thinks that shit's funny. But like today, if I did any of the things I had done in those relationships, I don't have a single friend that would be like, that was a great idea. You should do that again.
Right. Like back in those days, it was like, go over there. And you're like, I'm going over there. And it was just like, you really had people gassing you up to do those things.
And everyone gassed them up because they make themselves feel better about their choices in relationships. That no one's your friends are not your friends when it comes to your relationship
sometimes
problems.
You just want to be entertained.
Your friends are just a projections of their own shitty choices and habits to feel better about themselves. We all are like that. Like,
I just think if I told Ashley, like, listen, this morning I caught my boyfriend cheating, so I went to the hardware store, I got some paint, I threw it on his car. I think Ashley would like call our business manager.
I'd be like, I gotta move some money around. I don't feel comfortable. Yeah.
How does this fall on me?
But when you're young, you're like, we're gonna drive by his house together.
We're gonna drive the car into the house.
Yeah. Okay, so should we go through some of these?
Yeah, we asked people, we got some stories of people. A lot of stuff came up about destroying property and contacting people that they cheated with. A lot of signing people up for gym memberships or gay dating apps or just, just fucking with somebody a little bit.
Put your boyfriend on Grindr or something?
Yeah, to like fuck with them.
But this one says signed him up for an ultra marathon. But like, who cares? Did you make him run it? Like he's probably gonna be like, I'm getting these spam emails.
You just did unnecessary paperwork.
Yes, this admin was
Don't
unnecessary.
You have to pay to
that
sign
person's
up?
not gonna get revenge.
Yeah, like I guess if you have their credit card info, this stuff is revengeful. But otherwise,
I mean, I guess.
I cut up all of his clothing and I put him in his bag that I had also cut the straps off of. It's funny you cut the straps off.
This one is went to law school because my ex went to law school and said I couldn't. That is just Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
She just described the plot of a movie.
She took that out of the movie.
Which, let's just say, is the best kind of revenge you can do.
100%. That is positive revenge and improving your own life. Who cares if it's despite someone else?
Okay, let me ask you a question. If you are under the impression you're in a committed relationship with somebody, a long-term commitment, and they cheat on you a bunch, is all of this okay?
What do you mean?
Can you fuck with somebody if they've cheated on you and tried to humiliate you and do all this like some of the stuff I'm like, did you guys just break up and this is just an excuse to not move on, or did somebody like really betray you by cheating on you and now you're fucking with them?
I thought you were more like if they cheated on you multiple times, do you have the right to get mad? I thought
get mad, but like, can you fuck with them? Is it a little more understandable fucking with people like
within
this?
the bounds of the law? You can do whatever.
I don't think so. I think that if you're gonna like lie to me and be places that I don't think you are, and have sex with another person, then come into my bed and have sex with me, I can do anything I want to you. After a few weeks, then you move on. But
I get the emotional response.
Yes.
Just think of the story you want to tell years down the road. Do you want to be like, he cheated on me with my friend and he was lying and he did all these terrible things, and then someone's like, well, what did you do? And you're like, nothing. If that's the story you want to tell. But if the story you want to tell is I ruined his life, it's like, who do you want to be?
No, yeah.
You're not right or wrong.
Well, nothing is more like, it's more like I realized how lucky I was in that moment to not have this person in my life. And so I just chose to obviously work through my hurt. But I didn't do anything. Yeah, that's the best possible. Yes. And you 5-10 years from now will always wish you handled yourself with more grace and more class than if you paint their car.
Yes, I think the answer also nothing. The answer is I moved on, improved my own life, went to law school, glowed up, whatever you did.
I keyed my ex's car. In all fairness, he tried to run me over.
Oh no. Okay.
We have some emails for you too, but I slept with his best friend.
See, that's not good. I think it's
it takes two.
I think the
best friend did it too.
Damage. Not that I ever have, and I don't condone it, but having a triggered reaction from, say, someone cheating on you and damaging a little property, whatevs. But I hate for people to ruin their character because someone mistreated them, sleeping with someone's best friend, you're not any better than the person who just cheated on you.
But after you break up, especially if there was any sort of like infidelity involved, you don't have loyalty to that ex anymore.
No,
the friend should have loyalty to his friend.
I understand that, but like I'm just saying, morally, like you're fucking with a friendship. You know, like I'm just saying, like that's a low character thing to do. It just is. I mean, maybe you might be mad and whatever, but like you're allowing the person who's cheating on you to win twice when that happens. You know, if someone's driving you to do something where you, again, keying someone's car, that's it's kind of funny. Whatever. They can pay to get that back.
Nick, we are opposites.
I know.
I am over here like, who cares if you sleep with this friend? The friend's supposed to have the loyalty, not you.
But like it's your character. Character matters. And like you're doing something that it would ultimately be something you wouldn't normally do.
Would you normally key somebody's car?
No, but like
Also,
I
what if
can
the
picture
friend is
being
hot?
really like
How tall is the friend?
It seems far less premeditated. Keying someone's car, you're just like, and you're kind of like, fuck, that just happened. You know, like that can happen in seconds.
That can happen with a dick, though.
Someone's friend, you have to call. You gotta.
Okay, what if I'd always been attracted to him and I ran into him at a bar. I'm not doing it to hurt my ex necessarily, but I'm not.
I just
Listen,
think
if you just fuck a guy that you've always had a crush on and you're not doing it to ruin a friendship.
Motive matters to you as well.
Yeah, it's like if someone does something to you, it hurts you, and they have a low character moment. Like I think they win twice when you do something out of character that affects other people's lives in a way that could be damaging to them. Like you're just never going to feel good about it. Like I just don't think you are in the long run, you know?
We're going to fuck the friend. But
I am with you when it comes to character. Like your sentiment is exactly spot on. But I am of the mindset of like you have no more loyalty to your ex. The friend, that's his loyalty.
I'm not saying you have. I agree. You don't have any loyalty. I agree that you have no loyalty to your ex, and you have no obligation to protect that friendship.
Right.
But you were a catalyst that
ended their friendship.
That did it, and you did it for the purposes of ending it. And like that's just something that you probably won't feel good about yourself, or hopefully you will.
Yeah.
You know, once you move on and heal, because
that's fair.
And then you allow that person, like the thing I always try to focus on or try to tell people, especially when they're having a hard time moving on with someone, is just like you giving them your energy is like, and what do they say about life? It's short. It's like we don't get today. We'll never get today back, you know? And if you use today to do something that added no value to your life, and then you're also potentially might regret it when you could be, I don't know, going back to law school or whatever it is, or like volunteering or something, I don't know, or like reaching out to a friend that maybe you abandoned while you were so love drunk in this relationship, and taking them out and reconnecting is just, I don't know, a lot more positive energy that you're putting into this. And once you get over the pain, you will be very glad that you did those things, as opposed to like ruin someone else's, like what if, for example, in the, this friendship, that the friend you realize is the person who never really got the girls or whatever. And like, not that it's okay, but you kind of preyed on the fact that you made their day, and like kind of like, they shouldn't have done that. They should have been a better friend, but like you maybe preyed on their weakness to hurt someone else. And I definitely believe in karma,
Yeah, it just depends on what the guy did originally.
Yeah. I like what you said about the notion of like, when you were through this pain and whatever it is, a couple years, what do you want to look back and say the story was? And I've done things after a breakup, but I've looked back a couple years later and been like, I didn't have to like tell their friends the stuff I told them. I didn't have to say the things to their family that I said. Like I didn't have to do that. But I can also forgive myself because I know that I was operating through the lens of like extreme amounts of pain. Like you're out of body. You are a crazy different person then. So
like,
I can forgive it.
People get cheated on too, and they might say some terrible things to the person who cheated on them that they would maybe never say to,
Of course.
But in that moment,
My ex cheated on me. I broke all of his things.
Yeah, the stuff I used to say.
We're all human,
Yeah.
But I like what you said. You have to forgive yourself and give yourself grace and not be like, that's definitive of who I am. And I also think it's really nice to look back on a way that you used to be and know you would never do those things today. And that's growth. And that's really important. And you should always like pat yourself on the back. But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, in a perfect world, we don't let these people get to us and we just move on and improve our own lives. But sometimes it goes the other way. And I think that's human nature. And I also like what you said of like how much time you really give somebody, because we spend months, years of our lives sometimes when we could have been doing other things, finding someone else. And that's the thing I think a lot of people look back at and regret.
Learning a new language, anything.
Or they've lost,
just improving themselves, making a friend.
Just enjoy an experience.
And that's the thing. I think about like exes that I've had. I mean, I guess I could look them up on Facebook, but like, I don't know what they're doing. They're not a part of my life. These are people who were like at one point in my life, my entire life, and now they're just strangers to me, you know, and that's kind of, you know, ideally for every ex you ever have, eventually it just become a distant memory. But that's my point is whatever you do to process your breakup, that'll always stick with you, will be a memory, and they won't be, you know? And so just be careful, you know, that you're doing all these things for a person who is eventually going to be a stranger in your life. They will be a distant memory, but you'll either be proud of how you acted or you won't be.
I like that notion.
Yeah.
Like that will be a stranger one day. So this is just sort of like emotional cutting on yourself.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go through a couple emails with you and see what you think. And again, we asked people to send us submissions that were psycho or power move. So we decide whether they're psycho or power move, or, you know, somebody's a little bit of both. Okay, so I feel like this is very relatable. The first one is about Instagram behavior. She says, well, I turned into that psycho ex today. We split 2 weeks ago. And the one thing I asked from him so that we could remain friends, which that's debatable whether you want to remain friends. Yeah, that's not your friend. Was to please not start commenting and adding girls on social media immediately, etc. I know I shouldn't have looked, so that is a moot point, but I saw that he had added 2 girls he met on a dating app during our last breakup. This is a hot mess. How does she know he met girls on a dating app during the last breakup? And he dropped a comment saying those eyes and then the 100 emoji. Rather than keeping my composure and grace, I lost my shit by calling and texting like a maniac, said hateful things, and went back and forth for over an hour via text. I just don't understand how after 3 years he could have zero regard for my feelings and automatically seek validation from the same people. I'm not young and neither is he, and I know better, but the devil himself took over me. Now I feel like a heroin addict that got a fix, but I know tomorrow I'll wake up feeling horrible, which she just validated everything we just said. Like, you did a thing that makes you feel bad about yourself.
I love the heroin analogy too.
Yeah, and the devil.
I mean, I understand her being like, I asked you this one thing and you did this thing very publicly and it's immediately after this breakup and I'm still healing. And I go back and forth, like 3 years with somebody. I mean, if I was with somebody for 3 years and the next day they started commenting on other girls' Instagrams, I go back and forth because I'm like, you broke up? Tomorrow that person can go out with somebody. You broke up. That person does not think they're in a relationship with you anymore. But to publicly do it feels...
But don't you feel like the framing, if you can get there in your mind, is like, aren't I glad we broke up? Like, this guy has no regard for my feelings. Like, I don't want to be with somebody who could have shown me some respect and decency and did the exact thing that he knew I was insecure about him doing. He went and did it anyway. Like, hopefully you can tell yourself, like, I dodged a bullet here, but that takes a while to get to that point.
It does. But also, like, the hard truth of this is that this isn't about you trying to protect the memory of a relationship that's now over. It's just, all of us, our egos, we don't want people to get over us. You know, we don't want it to be easy to move on. We feel she feels embarrassed. The reason why she's so angry is not because he did something that like ruined the memory of her relationship that's now over. It's because she doesn't want to feel embarrassed and have her friends see this, which is totally human. I get it.
Totally.
You know, but like, yeah. It's
You're
like,
so right. Those are the two things. Like the embarrassment, the public embarrassment, or, you know, the public square.
And we want to know
Instagram.
we're hard to get over.
And that too. I mean, I've always said this, like the couple years my ex and I were together, went back and forth off and on. And then the next year when like I moved away and we still talked a lot, we were done. I wanted the relationship to end. I moved away, you know, I made the decision, but nothing hurt worse than when he got a new girlfriend. And we still communicate a little bit more, but I would say like him moving on with somebody else hurt worse than like the initial breakup.
Because instead of seeing it the way you should have, your ego was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
And then your ego started asking you, well, why does he like her more than you? And why does
it really fucks you up. Like nothing hurt worse than that. Because I always could say like we still have feelings, even though we're volatile and fighting back and forth, we still are connected and he still has feelings for me and vice versa. And we actually moved on with somebody else. It was like, a dagger to the heart, and it's
like-
our ego.
I mean, our ego wants all of our exes to like die a slow death, a lonely slow death,
Yeah,
and
missing
never
us.
find love ever again, no matter what we say.
Of course.
You know,
you lay in bed on a loop and imagine those people together, and you're just like, is he treating her better than he treated me? Is he changing for her the things that I wanted him to change for me? Right.
He's not.
But you kind of hold on to this maybe, and it becomes a definitely not, and somebody else gets this thing, and you tell yourself all these lies that you make up in your head. And
he's doing one of two things. He is one, doing all the nice things he did with you in the beginning of the relationship when he was trying to impress you, or two, overcompensating with someone who was willing to do something you never were, and now he's seeing something in her because like, you guys fought about something and this person's willing to do it, and he thinks she's just amazing because of this one thing, and he's just blinded by, but it's, yeah.
I understand her wanting to call him and text him and go crazy, but I do think the reality of this, it's harder to get to in actuality, but the reality is your contract that said, I will not hurt you, ended the day that you guys broke up. And he is allowed to do these things. And so for you to go back to him and ask the person who's hurting you to also help you feel better about this, it's misguided.
And let's also be real about relationships when they end. It's not as if, unless, say, someone cheats on you or there's an abrupt ending where you're caught off guard or something. Mm-hmm. But the reason people break up is because there's over a period of time they start disconnecting, and they start disconnecting more and more often on a more and more regular basis. Mm-hmm. And finally someone has the guts to say, hey, maybe we should end it. But like emotionally, people are starting to check out, they're starting to wonder what it's like to be single, and things like that. So them getting back on the dating apps and messaging people, it's not as if like one day you guys were completely in love and the next day now you're broken up and they have to process this, which is what we want to think. But that's just not the reality.
And to Ashley's point, it is what he did is unkind. No, it's not nice. It's not
wasn't
necessary.
For sure.
You can go on dates with people. That's your private life. You don't need to be publicly commenting on these girls' photos. It would make me crazy.
Yes, like this kind of
Like Ashley said, though, the unkind thing is kind. They don't deserve credit for doing the unkind thing, but it is the kind, like, it's the kind thing to do. When people ask me when they want to break up with someone, what should I do? I'm like, don't be mean. Don't deliberately be mean, but don't be afraid to be the bad guy. You have to be the bad guy. It's the kind thing to do to be the guy. You want to be short, concise, and direct, and not that, like, you don't want to be empathetic, and you don't want to be there. You're not their therapist. You're not their support system anymore. And I know that's very hard to do because for some relationships, you are that person, but you have to disconnect. And to the point of almost the best breakup, I think honestly the kindest breakup in the long run is when that person thinks, like, they ask you, like, you're so cold. Why are you being like that?
Yeah, I don't even know who I'm talking to.
I don't even know who I'm talking to. Like, you're doing it the right way.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about this, and I love what Nick said about like that feeling of being embarrassed and like someone moving on. And this like brought me back because now I'm remembering the way I used to feel when I would see my ex, or whether we were off and on commenting on other girls' Instagrams. And the feeling it takes over your body. Like when she says the devil took over, like I remember that. This is like washing over me how bad that felt. Yeah. And so I want to like validate the feeling, and hopefully our conversation has helped to realize like the root of it. But I also just want to tell her, like, stop looking at that shit. Like, you got to self-preserve. Like, stop looking at the girls' stuff.
Number one, stop pretending you guys are going to be friends.
And that too.
Yes.
Those two things. Like, you block him. Who cares? Then you won't see his comments. Like, figure out how to not look at this stuff, and certainly don't seek it out. Like, know that you're seeking it out so you can feel hurt. Like, your friends aren't really probably seeing this. Like, you have seeked it out on these girls. Like, stop the behavior.
Also, there's something in there that she kind of like brushed over, is that she insinuated that this is like not the first time they've broken up.
Right.
So already in the back of her mind, part of her behavior is a result of she's not totally done.
Yes.
Yes. If you got back together once, you can get back together twice.
True.
Yes. And
right,
so she's obviously probably struggling with, actually, is this really done? Or is this like a lot of her, let's stay friends, and how he's treating her now? Is this something they're gonna have to argue about when they get back together? Just more baggage. Mm-hmm. And, I guess my only advice to that is like, stop doing these like mini breakups or breaks, or either work on your shit, and, whether it's couples therapy, It's like couples therapy is a lot less expensive than getting back together with someone over and over. You know, people always talk about, yes, therapy is expensive for sure, but it's honestly way more expensive to waste all your energy on a person who doesn't want it. Honestly, you could literally get a second job with the amount of energy some of us like, and I was that person, like, obsessively just looking at things that I shouldn't be or thinking about things. I was just hours, days, you know, like I could have made a lot of money doing that, you know, and like when you think about it that way and try to quantify it, you know, like, you know, it's just sometimes you got to think about what not getting therapy costs you. You know?
Yeah. And just stay off their social media. I can't stress it enough. Like the things that I have like gone on to see with an ex where I'll go to their social media and I'll see something they've posted about their ex-girlfriend will take me out for days. And it's like that game you played when you were a kid, like the floor is lava. Their social media is lava. Yeah. Don't go there. You're never going to see something that you like. And why expend your energy on it? I mean, I remember there's been days of my life that have just been spent just being devastated about something that I shouldn't have looked at.
Yeah.
You know?
Anyways.
Okay. Next email. I think you'll like this. I'm writing in for a psycho or power move that I've not done yet because I can't decide which.
We can still stop it.
We can still stop you. I can't decide which one it would be. Long story short, my boyfriend of a year and a half broke up with me very suddenly, and then I found out a few weeks later that he had cheated on me with one of my friends and just didn't have the balls to tell me. I knew that he had cheated on other people in the past, but I gave him a chance anyway, and now I feel like a clown. The question is, should I write a letter to his mom telling him what he did and has done under the cover of telling her he needs serious help? But also, I want her to know who she raised. It would be a handwritten.
No. Read that part. I'm reading it. Don't leave this out.
I am not her biggest fan.
So she doesn't even like the mom. That's important.
But she's not a fan of the art she created. You know what I mean? She doesn't like the art. She doesn't like the artist or the art.
Okay.
It would have been a handwritten mailed letter because I feel like it would just make the point better than text. Is it psycho or power move? Should I do it?
Absolutely not. Oh my God, no.
Can you imagine she delivers a handwritten letter?
That's what's so. And let's acknowledge that like these are very normal feelings, and you know,
we've all thought, should I tell his
you're
mom?
not a crazy person, but this is a crazy thing you're considering doing, and you're so blindsided with your rage that your perspective on this is literally the opposite of what it should be. The handwritten, no, you will look more crazy. You will look.
So send the text. I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna, like,
I'm kidding.
I mean, everything she's talking about, she's like, the more energy I put into this, the more serious people will take me. You know, it's just like. Also, I want you for all the ladies out there. I don't care how close you are with his mom.
Amen. Go off.
It's her son. Mom. She's not gonna take your side.
Yep.
She's not. Even if she yells at him, even if she's disgusted with his behavior, it's her son, and no mom needs you reaching out to tell her about how she was as a mother. First of all, that's not going to go well. Second of all, like, you know, she's going to protect her son, you know? And so you're just definitely wasting your energy. I mean, I'm not any of the, I'm a great boyfriend. I'm a great boyfriend. I'm not a perfect guy. I'm annoying as fuck. You know, I've pissed off a lot of girlfriends. Like I've given the ick, but like I'm a good boyfriend, you know, but like I remember I've had girlfriends that I've, you know, and the relationship. And my mom is a great girlfriend mom. I mean, my mom is easy to be around, not opinionated. She's always nice. It's always important to have relationships with her son's girlfriends and things like that. And like, yeah, they would call my mom up and bitch about me. And my mom was like, what are you doing? Like, what do you think you're doing? Like, do you really think I'm going to respond the way you think?
That is the last person in the world that is ever going to take your side. And even if you get from somebody's mom, I can't believe he did that, he is going to explain it away to her. Yeah. And you're going to comfort from the wrong person. That's not the person. It's
not going to go the way you want it to.
Do you know that I went to my engagement party? I was with somebody for 3.5 years. I was very close with his mom. At my engagement party, she said to me, I'm so glad to have a daughter. I'm so happy. I couldn't imagine somebody better. We broke up the next day. I never fucking heard from her ever again. She was not on my side.
Yeah.
And I never expected her to be. And my mom said to me, don't ever expect to hear from these people ever again. Yeah. That's how it should be. That's how it is.
Yeah. So, I mean, every situation is different. You know, some people do stay in touch with the family. I think the family's loyalty is obviously the parents to their kid.
Well, if that happens, it's always
this
weird.
is just just no. Don't do this.
But if it does happen, there's exceptions to every rule. But like just like when people try to stay friends with their ex, you're not doing it for genuine reasons. You're saying it to still stay connected, just in case. Another point I do want to make too is just like, she mentioned that this person had cheated before. I am a big person. I think risks are important to take. You know, I think grace is important to offer to people. But like, if you're going to take a risk, recognize your risk and hold yourself accountable for the risk that you took. That doesn't mean that you emotionally beat yourself up if when he cheats on you, doesn't make you an idiot.
Yeah, of course.
That doesn't, no.
Yeah, because she calls herself a clown, and I
you're
just
not a clown.
I don't think
you
that
took
you
a chance on someone.
Totally.
But you did take a chance. So you're not a clown, but don't react like you're shocked either.
Yeah.
Don't react like you didn't see it coming or you can't believe it happened. Don't write his mom a letter to explain,
that she raised a cheater.
Yeah. God only knows why he did this or what trauma he's
saying
experienced.
That's the tone that it would be. I just also want to validate the way you feel crazy, and she will probably.
He also slept with her friend, so
totally
extra crazy.
No, but like she knows she shouldn't do this. That's why she wrote an email to us about it, or she already would have done the letter. So she will look back on this and be like, I can't believe I considered that. I mean, again, we can't stress enough. Like, we look back at some of our past behavior and be like, who was that person? You're completely overcome by all these different emotions. So I just want to validate, because she's thinking of like, what is the meanest thing I can do? And I think we've felt those feelings before when you feel so hurt and betrayed by somebody. So
I'm willing to bet he didn't sleep with a friend, but an acquaintance.
So
not a close friend.
That's funny that you said that, because when I read the email, I thought not a close friend.
Because she kind of glossed over the friend part.
Yeah.
She kind of
Yes, absolutely.
slipped in there. And if it was like a dear friend,
It's not a dear friend. I can feel that.
There would be.
I can feel it's not her like best friend.
It
I
was
think
still
we're all
like someone he
validating.
shouldn't be fucking with.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think we're all validating that this is really painful, but I don't think that this is going to do for you what you think it is by contacting his family.
And
Yes.
not that I'm in the business of giving this guy any credit, but again, thinking of silver lining.
There we go.
But like, yeah, it's just he at least ended the relationship. He at least, he was too chicken to tell me. I guess, sure, but at least he didn't try to keep the relationship going and lie and do it behind your back or like, and at least imagine if you found out that he had cheated on you a year ago and, I don't know. It's just like, you do have to find this, to like everything we've been talking about this past hour. It's just like part of working through all this pain and these triggering moments is to find the silver lining. I mean, one thing getting older and being more emotionally regulated has taught me, it's just like, and honestly, like when I think about what I do on Ask Nick, when people call me in and it's like every episode, I'm like, I'm not a fucking therapist. I don't diagnose you. Just be careful. Like I'm always kind of couching what I say just in case. But like, the truth is like, I'm just sharing my advice from a lived experience that I have, but all I am doing with people is I am just simply offering them a different perspective from someone who's not emotionally involved. Everyone who's writing in is emotionally triggered. They're emotionally involved. They're seeing the situation through, blinders. And every situation we go into, there's always a different way to look at something. There is always a silver lining. And sometimes you have to reach for that silver lining. But finding those silver linings is a great way to get through some of the shit, And if you find yourself unwilling to look for the silver linings, then that is a sign that you are holding on to the pain. That is a sign not only that you can't let it go, but you're unwilling to. Because anyone can consider the possibility of a silver lining.
I like that. And yes, these two scenarios, he broke up with me suddenly, and I found out later that he had slept with somebody else, and I am still with him and found out he cheated on me, are very different. Yeah. And so he ended the relationship. I didn't know where you were going to go with that, but I'm with you.
Yeah.
So.
All right, we have one last one. The little cuckoo.
We love cuckoo.
Okay, my friends hated my ex, so when I told them I was finally breaking up with him, I gave them the password to my camera app so they could watch the breakup. I covered the recording light with a black sticker so he wouldn't notice, and they watched the whole cringy hour of it. Afterwards, I went over to their house and we laughed and talked shit about it, and they gave me notes. The way I would tune into that.
I would sell tickets.
This would be behind a paywall. This would be on a Patreon.
I kind of love it. I mean, is it mean and petty? For sure. But like, I'm going to assume that he was undeserving of her and probably a douchebag dick kind of boyfriend. And there's valid reasons why they didn't like this guy.
If you guys are doing this, send us the login.
Yeah, we want to
put it on a Zoom.
We'll do it in a Girls Gotta Eat live show. That'll be the show. We'll sell tickets. We'll give you a part of the proceeds.
I mean, I guess it is like violating privacy.
I mean, let's just all acknowledge it's probably not okay. But
this also sounds like you're probably in college. Like I don't think like if Ashley was like
she's 35, could you die? I need to know. Okay.
I do want to know how old they are.
Either or. I think 35-year-old's capable of such a thing.
Like, you know what I'm picturing is the we'll put this on the screen, is the Impractical Jokers like meme of them behind the camera, you know, like
what to say.
They're all just like laughing. Yes, like everybody's got their popcorn out. Like, I'm sorry, this is insane. Like, no, it's not right to do.
If
but
I got to watch
that would be great though if you could help a friend break up with like having with an earpiece.
Also,
it
I
sounds
feel
like she's got it. I think she had it covered.
If I was the girl doing the breakup, the show I would put on for people, I'd be telling jokes. I'd have a whole set. I'd be doing bits.
You think he was crying?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have different camera angles. I'm like, we need the camera on him for when he starts to cry. Like, I would have a whole production
like a
setup.
zoom in just
I'd be like,
for
Anna,
space.
edit this later. Let's send it off.
I just hope just a little bit she has just, for her own humanity, I hope she has just a smallest amount of guilt. Because it is mean.
Yes. Filming stuff. I mean,
The way I look at the camera and make a face.
I really hope this guy was an asshole too.
if you rain it, you break the fourth wall. You just wink at your friends. No,
Especially when like you deliver a line, you're like,
I give him like the okay with my fingers. I'm like, yep, got him.
you're just like,
You might drop.
like, what? Did you just drop a mic?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad, just don't know. No, don't worry about it. Like,
Bye, bitch. And you're like, you tell your friends, you're like, I'll see you in an hour.
he's like, who are you talking to?
Yeah. No, filming people is not okay. Like, we've heard of people like turning their voice memo on or their camera to film people. It's not okay to film people without their consent, just as
You
a rule.
You could get sued. Tom Sandoval.
But the way that then she went over and they got to recap it.
Yeah, that's a moment they will share forever.
It haunts you forever. I hope somebody does this for
I
me.
think she's like the icon in her friend group. I feel like her name's Ashley.
They call her mother.
She's got some basic bitch name like Ashley. Like, you know she does. Oh my gosh. No, it's, can't filming people without their consent. I don't know how to answer this one. Psycho or power move. Like, it's both.
It's just funny. We like the story. If somebody did it to me, my God, I'd burn
you know,
their house
for the
down.
purpose of this game, it's a power move because no one was really hurt. I'm assuming. I hope
This went nowhere.
He didn't find out about it.
He's finding out
So
now.
it's a victimless crime.
But the thought of having it done to me makes me want to throw up.
It's definitely mean. It's bully behavior, slightly. Again, especially if we just like. I would hate if these girls didn't like him just because they thought he was like a loser or gave him the ick, and they were just kind of mocking
My friends
him.
hated
making
my
fun
ex.
of him.
Yeah, I mean,
But
like,
if it was like he was just like a video game playing, guy who never appreciated her and
that makes me
took,
sick.
then
Yes,
then it's like,
when I think about this, I could cry. If I think about someone breaking up with me, filming it, his friends get to log in, like the thought of it genuinely makes me sick. So again, that's a matter of like, do to others what you'd want done to you. But listen, I still would be tuning in.
Yeah.
But it's not crazy.
If it goes, it's a little
because
crazy.
when you say crazy, like our other stories, it was like I lost my shit and I did this thing that you're just like, why would you do that? And I think we all kind of agreement while like we're trying to like acknowledge what's wrong and put ourselves in other shoes. Like this was a well thought out, executed plan.
There was passwords
and
exchanged.
there was composure and like there was like that.
And I just hope.
Not crazy.
Here's what I hope.
Wrong, maybe.
What I think would be really mean is if she told him. But again, we don't know. This guy could be the worst
I hope
person
he-
on the planet. I hope he never finds out.
I hope he
about
never
this.
finds out.
Yes.
And that's what I'm saying. A victimless crime.
Yes. And again, he could be the worst person in the world. We just don't
hope
know.
so.
But
I'm gonna tell myself he's a terrible boyfriend.
Terrible.
'Cause
Yes.
It doesn't sound like she then said, like, by the way, we all watched that. He.
I think when all your friends hate your boyfriend, he's probably pretty shitty to you. I think he's inconsistent. He doesn't show up for you. He talks down to you.
Right.
I'm telling myself he was terrible to her, and this went nowhere. You went and talked to your couple girlfriends about this after. No one else, except for hundreds of thousands of people listening right now, ever found out.
Also, they laughed and talked shit, and they gave me notes. What are the notes? I need more. Let's have
well,
a
Could have been funnier.
call in to ask Nick. We need more. Okay. Well, hope you enjoyed the conversation, you guys. And Nick, we hope
Thanks
you had
for
a good
having me.
time.
Yeah.
And
You guys have to tune into his podcast 3 times a week. Yeah.
yeah, plug
At
all your
least,
stuff.
yeah. Well, we do Ask Nick on Mondays, which is it's all relationship driven. People write in with their stories. Most of them are very relatable. A lot of like people call in because they can't move on from their situationship or having a hard time moving on from a boyfriend, or just having a hard time dating, all the above. And sometimes we get crazy stories like not too long ago, a woman called in because she was on OnlyFans and her husband wanted her to get off. The other day, I just talked to someone whose new boyfriend got back on the dating apps to sell insurance to women. So some of them are kind of outlandish.
Guerrilla marketing.
Yeah. No, seriously.
That's illegal.
So
Don't pick up the apps
if you're looking for just both fascinating stories and some maybe sage advice, that's on Monday. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have a reality recap, which is very much kind of your variety show where we talk about pop culture and cover a variety of reality TV shows. And then Wednesday, when we have a worthy guest, we have our Going Deeper episodes where like Gypsy Rose or your big reality TV stars, or there's one coming up I'm really excited about.
When will it drop? You can say it if it's going to.
It hasn't happened yet.
Oh, okay.
But there's been an agreement.
I will speculate wildly.
Maybe December.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so, and we like to go deep and just really get to know our guests and kind of humanize them in a way that maybe you didn't get a chance to see. So, and that's on Wednesdays. And then we have Wi-Fi Plus. So, but yeah, where we recap Vanderpump. And
I want to come on and do it. Okay. Well, you guys have tons of stuff to listen to on the Viall Files. Also buy his book, Don't Text Your Ex, Happy Birthday. And that's it.
Great to see you, ladies.
Yes.
So happy for all your success. Love
and
your show.
Too.
And you guys know where to find us, girlsgottaeat.com, to get tour tickets this weekend. We will be in Denver, Minneapolis, and Madison. So we can't wait to see you guys. Western cowgirl theme, dress
Madison,
up,
Wisconsin?
come out. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
off.
That's where Nick's from.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Maybe Nick will be there.
Come
Where are you
to
performing?
Madison.
We'll be at the Orpheum. So grab tickets, girlsgottaeat.com, Girls Gotta Eat Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. I'm Ash Hess. Raina is Raina.Greenberg. Subscribe on YouTube. Share this episode with a friend, and we will see you Thursday.
Have a good week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.